Hey everybody, this is MikeTBricker, and I'm coming at you with an update from the Columbus City here. What I was going to do a little bit different today was, as you see here, this is my own personal minifigure. I want to give a shout out to Izzy she's one of my students that did give me this one year at the end of the school year, so I appreciate that. But what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to come out from behind the scenes for the first time ever, and I'm going to give you not only a full city update, but I'm going to give you a basement walkthrough and kind of let you know what's been going on in quarantine and the sets that I've built. So I hope you enjoy it, and here we go. Alright, so one of the things that kept me really engaged during the quarantine was building Lego sets, of course. I appreciate all the Lego sets that I was able to get and build, and I'm just going to kind of take you through what I built in quarantine. It was a lot, but one of the first builds that I did in quarantine was this Jurassic Park set right here. And this was actually a pretty cool build, and then I was actually able to go on the site rebrickable.com and get the pieces to create one of the SUVs that was in the movie. And my idea was to just make the scene kind of like this, and with that set, so it worked out kind of nice. I also built the Death Star in quarantine. It was a pretty cool build. A lot of different details from the original trilogy. So that was pretty cool. I built the Batmobile, the 1989 Batmobile. That was a pretty neat build. Got an extra Batman down here. And then also built the Sandcrawler here right next to it. I was able to get that was pretty nice. And then this right here, this was actually something that I created myself. I'm waiting for a plate to be able to ship that has kind of like an Ultimate Collector feel to it. So I actually built this display case for the minifigures. So that was another thing I did. And then right down here we've got the Lego Technic car truck holder thing. I don't know what that thing's called, but you know, it's like holds cars and drives on the freeways and stuff. So I built that. Then I was able to find my all-time favorite Lego set. I had this once before. I sold it, got it back. So thankful to have this back in the collection. This is my all-time. Everyone always asks me, like, hey, what is your favorite all-time Lego set? I mean, I have a lot of Lego sets. This is MikeTBricker's all-time favorite build. The third movie of Star Wars was my favorite movie of the trilogy. And then it's just building it just brings that entire movie to life. I mean, you've got C-3PO up here. You can raise him up and down during that scene. You've got Luke on the fire spit over here, and you've got Chewie in the net over here, and of course you got all the Ewoks. Those were my favorite things. But all-time favorite built that in quarantine as well. Coming down here, picked up one of those vintage castle sets. This was a pretty neat build here with the king and queen. And then up here, I built that with my students in a Zoom class. That's the new space station. So I did that on a Zoom class with my students during quarantine when we were all at home. Did a couple of Lego classes and built that live with my students. So that ended up being a pretty awesome build as well. So those were some of the sets that I was able to build outside of the city during quarantine. And so one of the last sets that I did in quarantine outside of the city was I picked up the new Lego Fiat, which is right here. This turned out to be a pretty cool build. It's got some movable features here and functions, but I definitely wanted to get that to add to my car collection. It's got the painting with the easel there, and so it was a pretty cool build. And then it kind of like goes well with all the cars. I'm kind of out of room here, so if Lego makes some other cars, I'm gonna have to figure out what to do over here. But this corner is a little bare right now because I did the 4 shelves in the other room, as you saw there. But definitely room to put some other sets, and of course the pride and joy, UCS Millennium Falcon here, being held up by the stand from Wicked Brick. So if you're looking into a display solution for the Millennium Falcon, I've had this set for a while. That set, this display unit from wickedbrick.com is a big shout out to them because it saves a lot of space and makes a nice display piece. All right, so a big part of the basement redesign was updating my workstation. So I'm going to give you a little bit behind the scenes where all the magic happens, where a lot of the stuff gets built and created and imagined. I picked up a couple of these drawer containers from Michael's. Put those over here. I actually do a lot of photo shoots over here, so if I'm going to do a photo shoot, I'll come up over here and just flip the light on, give it some light. So that's part of the addition to the workstation. But then, of course, we've got all of the Akron tubs of Legos, and if you said, hey, where's this piece, I could definitely probably go right to the piece that you need. Actually, I'll demonstrate that for you here in just a little bit, because everyone's always like, well, how do you find everything? Where do you come up with the piece that you need? And real quick, I'd be looking all day here. I actually have everything memorized. If you change it on me, I'd be pretty upset. But you can see here right now, I'm working on these minifigures. I got these minifigures out for just kind of like going through, seeing what I have, and seeing what I'm going to keep and what I'm going to sell. So this is where a lot of the magic happens, on my workstation, where I build a lot of the things. And then over here, I've kind of made this my area of things I got to take apart just to put back in for bricks. And this was something done by my niece Emily. She had a French class and she had to create some kind of French scene, so I helped her do it with Lego. But that's got to get taken apart. Another little storage unit. And then where do I get my pieces? Well, I come across ads and sales, and down here I've got two very large tubs of Legos that need added and sorted. These have all been cleaned and sanitized, but these are just things that will get added in there. I'll probably end up getting a couple new storage units. That was done during my time in quarantine, but a couple tubs of Legos that just kind of keeps everything going. So that's my workstation, and where the magic kind of happens. So as I was saying before, I always get people asking me, well, how do you know where everything's at? Because you've got all these pieces here, and if you're looking for a certain piece, I'd be lost. I wouldn't know where to find it. Well, I have it all memorized. So if you just shout out a piece at me.
Find me a wheel piece.
A wheel piece. All right, so I'm going to come over here, and usually it takes me maybe 1 or 2 tries to get it, but I can find the wheelbases pretty easy, and got something already partially built in there. So there is the wheels, and any other piece you can imagine, pretty much know where it's at. So in this basement tour, I'm going to actually take you to the depths of the basement and kind of show you what's in storage and what things I'm letting appreciate over time with my retired sets. You can see right over here, this was just a lot that I purchased just recently, and those are things that I gotta still go through and work on. But a couple sets over there, and then over here, a couple things I'm working on down here, a couple sets that I'm getting ready to go. And these are my factory sealed sets. These are some of my favorite all-time sets that I'm kind of just letting appreciate over time. Normally, I let them wait 2 or 3 years, and then I'll sell them on eBay and help fund the city a little bit. But I got an extra Lego roller coaster here. This is probably one of my favorite amusement park sets. So I picked up an extra roller coaster here. So you can see that there. And then one of my other favorite sets, of course, was that Avengers helicarrier. So I have 2 of those extra in storage, just kind of waiting on those to appreciate a little bit. Kept a couple of the modulars, a couple of Parisian Cafe, and I have a new Batman. And of course, I had to have a couple of Technic sets up here. Got the all-time favorite set in a factory sealed version here, the Ewok Village. I talked about Bricklink here today, the AFOL sets. So these are just a couple of the Bricklink sets. This was the Science Tower. Haven't built that yet. I'm going to definitely probably put that in the city at some point. This is the old Western town. I have an idea to do a Western theme in the city, but that's the Western town there. So that's a couple of the brick link sets. I think there's one more. I can't remember which one. That was a brick house right there. It's called Bricked. So those are just some of the sets. And then the other question that people always ask me is, what do you do with all the boxes? Should I save the boxes? Should I get rid of them? Always save the boxes. And what I do with the boxes, I actually kind of just break them down. This is actually right here, almost every single box of every set I've ever owned. And when you flatten them, you can put, hundreds of these boxes flat. And if you ever need them again, you just pop them back together and you can sell your sets. I have a lot more down here, just some other sets over here where I kind of put my smaller sets to sell and kind of appreciate over time. But that is these boxes here. If you're wondering what those are my shipping boxes that I ship things out in. But these are constantly being moved and sold, and new ones being added. So that is the back room tour of the basement. Hey guys, I appreciate you guys watching my video here today. I'm giving you a lot of updates on what I've been doing in quarantine, a lot of builds that have been happening in the last couple of months, a lot of updates with the city. Thank you for watching. I want to give a big shout out to Sammy Lodi. He's my videographer behind the scenes right now. He's going to do a lot of the editing for me. He's an awesome student at The Ohio State University. Go Bucks, as you can see in my basement here. Appreciate you watching. Please make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, and always, please make sure you share. And as always, I'm MikeTBricker for the first time from behind the scenes.